Do you know about the senator who amassed $8 million in his life? But people only came to know about that when he died at the age of 92, because all his life he never showed that money at all. I'll tell you more about the story in a bit, but let me first introduce myself. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. This is Samreen here. I'm a PhD in marketing and financial services from the UK, and currently I'm working in the UK as well. The reason why I introduced myself is because it's very much connected to today's video. When I first moved abroad, I did not know much about how to manage my own money, what to do and what not to do, only until recent times when I realized that since our emotions play a massive role in everything we do in our lives, the same thing with the money, that our emotions play a massive role in how we spend the money, how we save the money, how we protect the money, and also what is our attitude towards money. And so talking about money, this month's book is about Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I don't know, can you see it? Yes, you can see it. So I have decided to review this book in my monthly book series, which I'm calling Books That Changed My Life. In this series, you'll see one video a month towards the end of the month, where I would share the key lessons I've learned from the books I have read over the years, and perhaps how they can help you as well. So let's grab a cup of tea, coffee, hot drink, cold drink, anything which is your vibe, and let's sit down and see that what does this book tells us about money, our emotions, and how we really deal with our money. Alright, so I've also got my tea with me. Let me just put it down and then we can start. Okay, so this book has 20 chapters in it, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to summarize these chapters into the key lessons which I have learned, and so let's divide this book into 4 sections. This book first talks about our attitude towards money, then it also talks about how we behave towards money, our mindsets, and how can we protect our money. So let's begin. First chapter in this book is called No One Is Crazy, and that's actually the life lesson, because this chapter tells us that we should not really judge people based on their behavior and attitude towards money, because we don't know what they have been brought up with. Some people might have more money while growing up, they might have seen more money in their family with their parents, and some might not have the same situation. So let's say there are 2 people, person A and person B. Person A was born in the times of Great Depression in 1920s, 30s, whereas person B was born in and have seen the tech boom in 1990s. Person A is frugal. They don't really spend their money that much because they have seen the limited amount of money they had at one point, whereas person B exactly is the opposite of person A. Now both these people are right in their attitude towards money because they haven't seen anything better. So it's extremely important for us to have empathy towards each other. Let's not judge people based on the attitude towards money, because we don't know what they've been brought up with. The next lesson is we can never earn enough money, and the chapter name is Never Enough. This is a really key lesson which I also strongly believe in, is the power of contentment. No matter how much we have, we always strive to get more and more. So I have seen around people who have started with just having a cycle, then they wanted to get a motorbike, then they wanted to buy a car, could be any car, but the minute they get that basic car, they're now eyeing for a better car, and that never ends. Now you may argue that yes, it's okay, we're always striving to get better, we're always striving to do more, which I completely agree. However, when that quest becomes a lot more than what you can take, it becomes a problem. Because the trouble with money is it can never be enough. No matter how much you have earned in life, if you have that attitude that is never enough, you can never be happy and you can never be content. Bernie Madoff, the mastermind behind Ponzi scheme, exactly failed for the same reason, because initially he started the scheme where he invited investors to invest their money, and the more people came in and joined his scheme, he was paying the dividend or profit to the early investors based on the later investments. But of course, he couldn't keep that promise, and he kept on asking people for more investment, and he was declared as one of the biggest frauds in the US. So the pursuit of having more and more and more can never lead you to better results. Instead, it's important for us to understand and know that when is enough. The next point is luck and risk, two of the factors which we cannot avoid no matter what we do or where we go. And there's a very interesting story of Bill Gates, where Bill Gates has studied in this small school called Lakeside in Seattle, where he got 1 in a million chance to have a professor who had this vision for computers, and not any ordinary computers, but a teletype model which even the graduates didn't have the access at the time. And this professor had the vision, which Bill Gates was lucky enough to have experience through the professor and being in that school. Bill Gates himself was extremely hardworking and visionary himself as well. However, his 1 in a million chance to be in that school, to be a student of that professor, and to have the access to this computer made a massive difference. And then Bill Gates acknowledges it himself by saying, if there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft. And later on, the world saw Bill Gates went on to form Microsoft with his schoolmate Paul Allen, and Microsoft, which is humongous and needs no introduction. Although in the story of Microsoft, we often forget to mention the third member of the group called Kent Evans, who was equally genius, who was equally visionary. However, unfortunately, he died in a mountaineering accident early on, which is again 1 in a million chances for a student to die in that way. Therefore, if we look at luck and risk, these are two factors sometimes beyond our control, but plays a massive role in the way our lives are shaped and also in the way we progress. So the understanding of these things can bring a great level of humility, because when you try to understand that not everything is within your control, you tend to learn life better and ultimately all the decisions around it. Another thing which I found really interesting in this book, and this is discussed under chapter number 17 called The Seduction of Pessimism, and I also think that also contributes to the attitudes of our money, because most of the time it's negativity which catches our eye. Negativity sells more, and so everything we see, everything we read, we shouldn't really believe in that. For example, in 1970s in the US, economists were of great belief that inflation is going to hit rock bottom and American economy would really suffer. However, that didn't happen. So at the time, the people who did not believe in pessimism still were able to invest their money and still were able to earn major dividends. But on the other hand, the people who believed in the negative news, they couldn't really earn that benefit. So again, another reminder to think positive and also to try and see the world in a positive light, because that can really take you very far. After talking about our attitude towards money, now let's look at our behavior towards money, which also enable us to earn money. And Morgan discusses that in the chapter number 4 called Confounding Compounding. Remember the janitor story which I told you earlier? I'm going to tell you the rest of the story now. So that janitor who amassed $8 million, and people only came to know about that when he died at the age of 92, what was he doing?